A lot of the disagreements that we have in the show happen organically. It's amazing some of the things that get said, and it deserves a response. But we wanted to set aside some time for each of our analysts to call out one of the other analysts, or maybe something that's on their mind in our With All Due Respect segment. And we saved the best for last. On our last work show for Breeders' Cup 2014, Tom Amoss, it's your turn on With All Due Respect.
Well, I'm going to move away from the show a little bit and talk about something that's going on in our industry right now, and that is the number of medication violations we're seeing from jurisdiction to jurisdiction with trainers. And when they're reported, and they're being reported a lot, the public is not differentiating between guys that are trying to cheat to win and realistic medication violations, which are just mistakes in the barn. It's all about finding a rope and getting a tree and hanging everybody from the same branch. And that is unfair. In today's testing, we now deal with nanograms and picograms. That is billionths of a gram and trillionths of a gram to find medication violations. I'm all for tough rules and getting rid of the cheaters in our industry. But I am more about fairness and not prejudging someone's guilt before he's gone to trial.
And you're talking about sort of errors that are made in the barn, using legal medications with certain overages, correct, Tom?
That is correct. So these are things that are approved, that we're allowed to use in the barn, and maybe a mistake being made in the barn where some small amount of medication is found. Think about it. 1 nanogram being a billionth of a gram and that being a positive test has nothing to do with the outcome of a race, and it's an approved therapeutic drug for the horse. That's just not fair.
And it's worth noting that poppy seeds have morphine in them. At least they test positive for morphine. So if a groom has poppy seeds from a donut or a muffin he's eaten and hands the horse a peppermint, he could possibly test positive for morphine by nanograms.
And when that occurred in California, you saw a quick rush to justice against those trainers. And then, of course, later on, our bad. They really weren't guilty. They were trying to do the right thing. They did nothing wrong. You know, the public and the media specifically needs to differentiate between these and treat the accused fairly.
Well, I'd just like to jump in here and say something. You know, a lot of it is our testing is not where it should be. The money allocated towards testing at the state level just isn't there. And that's the problem when budgets start to shrink. They look at that and then the testing doesn't keep up. And so you end up with a lot of these situations. Think of all the money that California poured into synthetic racetracks. What if they took those millions of dollars and put it towards the testing facilities instead?
No, that's a very good point you bring up. And I think to echo Tom's sentiment, even if we get the testing in line, it's how we disseminate the information from the lab to the public. Because right now, if you have, say, a butte overage, you're getting treated the same way as a trainer that's got a steroid overage that is illegal now.
And jurisdictions are really trying to beat one another to show they're the toughest jurisdiction. Nothing wrong with being tough, but being fair is very important.
Yeah, and a level playing field would be nice, Todd. The same rules everywhere. We wish for that.
With all due respect, well done, Tom Amoss. He's not just a pretty face, he's also very thoughtful. If you're thinking of a stallion, you can't miss out on Star Guitar. Star Guitar's first foals have arrived, and his babies are absolutely gorgeous.